My name is Diane Shima Rwigara, and I gave a press conference on February 23rd in Kigali, Rwanda. I am not a member of any political party, and I was not speaking on behalf of my family. The statements I made are my own personal views and opinions. Speaking out was an extremely hard decision for me to make, considering all the risks, but I felt I had no choice but do it. Since the people who are supposed to be representing us in our government are not speaking for us. Rwanda has made a lot of progress since the 1994 genocide. But there are still many issues that need to be addressed. During that press conference, I talked about poverty, injustice, security or low security, and the lack of freedom of expression. Regarding poverty, there is a very high unemployment rate. Students are graduating with no job prospects. People in general are unemployed, they are jobless. You find a good number of people who are homeless since they have no money to pay rent. There is famine in parts of Rwanda. People are dying of hunger. Regarding injustice, there is expropriation going on without compensation. Street vendors being chased off streets without other source of income. People going to prison without valid reasons. While all these problems are going on, mainly high unemployment and poverty, our government is spending money building luxury hotels. The convention center cost over $300 million, the most expensive building in Africa. Why are we spending the most when we are among the poorest? Most Rwandans do not have the basic necessities like water and electricity. So our taxes should be spent, should be invested in the people first. Rwanda has given priority to impressing white people instead of impressing our own people. Our country's image, though important, should not take precedence over the well-being of Rwandans. Issues like high unemployment, poverty, famine are also due to the fact that the wealth of our country is in the hands of a very few top members of the ruling party. They own most lucrative businesses. They are in charge of the most lucrative, profitable projects. The competitive private sector is almost non-existent. About security or lack of security for some Rwandans, our human right to live. There are disappearances, there are killings, assassinations, and the perpetrators of those crimes are never brought to justice. Foreigners, tourists, come to this country and say how safe and secure they feel. Unfortunately, a good number of Rwandans cannot say the same about their own country. Unemployment, poverty, famine, injustice, low security, all those are very serious issues that need to be talked about, that need to be addressed, that need to be resolved. So the question becomes, how long are we going to keep silent? How long are we going to see, hear, experience what is going on and choose to look the other way, choose to remain quiet? Though it is understandable why people choose to keep silent, people are afraid. There is so much fear in Rwanda, so much fear to express ourselves because of the heavy price attached to one's opinions. You lose your job if you have a job, you lose your business if you have a business, you might go to prison, you might even lose your life. And it's not just you being punished for your views. Your relatives and friends are also punished for your own opinions. They become guilty, they are guilty by association. Though our country has made progress in the last 23 years, there's still a long way to go. To be able to correct what's wrong within the system, to be able to correct what's wrong within our country, we first need to be able to voice it. We need a voice. We need freedom of expression. The only people who are given a platform are the people praising the regime. There is nothing wrong with people speaking well of our government. People have the right to do so. But the rest of us have also the right to criticize. We also have the right to voice what we think is best for a country to keep developing. We have the right to say what we think is needed for all Rwandans to live together in peace and harmony. The freedom of expression I'm talking about is not the freedom that denies or revises the genocide, the 1994 genocide. People should not hide under the umbrella of free speech for divisive statements. The freedom of expression I'm talking about is being able to have healthy debates without fear of reprisals. Almost all topics in Rwanda are taboo. Take the example of our king, Kigali Ndahindurwa, who just passed away. A good number of Rwandans paid a deadly price just for being pro-king. I just gave the example of King Kigali Ndahindurwa, but there are many other cases that show that we have no freedom of expression in Rwanda. In conclusion, I would like to say that we need freedom of expression for different factions of Rwandans who need their opinions to be heard and their views and ideas to be considered. Can we have an open dialogue? Can we question? challenge our government policies without losing our jobs, without losing our businesses, without going to prison, without losing our lives, without fear for the safety of our loved ones.